Hello folks, welcome to Legacy IS Academy. In this video, we will be discussing a current affair topic presented to you by your faculty, Sushma KP. So what is the topic that we will be looking into today? Kuki Hill Road Corridor is the demand, and we will also be discussing about your Manipur conflict. Right? Now, what are the topics that we will be looking into here? About your ethnic violence in Manipur, hill connectivity, Kuki NP demand, Ministry of Donor role, what is Manipur government's position on this, and also we will be seeing a possible mains question from this topic. Now I have discussed the heading and the topic. Now we will see how is it relevant to your UPSC preparations. This from your GS2 perspective, governance and conflict hit regions from your governance and role of your Ministry of Donor, Center-State relations. From GS paper 3 perspective, we will be seeing from your infrastructure and connectivity in hilly or tribal areas. As an essay or a ethics question, the possibility of on questions on this particular topic of regarding your ethnic sensitivities or balancing development and security will be there. Okay, now see, before we start the topic, I'll give you a small detail or intro like in the story format as to what is Manipur ethnic conflict. Then we will see what is the issue right now. Okay, so here I will be writing it more like a story format, same way you guys also understand it. Okay, first thing, let's take okay, how did the Manipur ethnic violence start, or at least in recent times. So somewhere we will take from 2023 onwards. The first stage of the conflict began before Pari 2023. Let's see what was the background. Okay, in this there was decades of struggle between whom? Your Metis. Okay, now these people are considered as the majority or valley people, so we will call them valley majority. Okay, this is the conflict between Metis and your Kukizo. Okay, these are your hill tribes. All right, so the conflict was between these two of your Manipur. On what areas were the conflicts on? If you see, first thing, land rights, forest area access, and one of the main reason is wanting of your ST status by your Metis. Understanding? Okay, and also some other issues were your poppy cultivation. Understanding? Land encroachment. This was constant conflict among these people. So this was going. Now what happened in around? This is the second phase. Okay, second phase. Pe. In your February to April 2023, there was rising demand for ST status from your Metis. Okay, for which the hill area, let's say the hill area people protested very much, so much so that they carried out some solidarity protests, march, and all of those. Okay, now what happened? We will go to the third phase. The reason I'm calling it the third phase is because it is more like a spark phase or triggers phase. Okay, the trigger phase somewhere in your May. Remember I told you about your solidarity march protests and all started. Okay, solidarity march protest started. This led to ethnic conflict beginning. Okay, So much so that by your May June period, that is after your ethnic conflict, then started this concept of blockades. Completely there was blockade so as to protect, and more than 50,000 people were displaced, right? So in order to prevent more of these conflicts happening, they were restricted zones. Now when there were restricted zones like this, which means the hill area people felt like they were cut off from the roads infrastructure which was in the valley area, because of not being able to access to that, their access to such as your education, healthcare, right, even basic necessity supplies all got affected. But it became a very sensitive issue and they could not open up the blockades, especially in your national highway regions. So what happened, all these emergency supplies were all airlifted to them, understanding. So this was the scenario that was going on. Then what happened, look at this, in your 2024, this is the present, or this is the context for this video. This is the background, all this is the background for the video, this is the context. Meaning these people, that is your hill tribes, have told that, see, we need access to infrastructure, we need roads, we can't always be relying on air support. For that, if we go here valley people main roads, it is leading to a lot of conflict. Why don't you build one infrastructure, or that is in the form of roads, which will bypass the majority valley majorities, and this will be a connectivity for the hill tribes and other places. Immediately your foothill Naga Coordination Committee, FNCC, raised the voice and they were showing their apprehensions, telling, what if then this would mean like a road will be constructed on our road, our property, our territory, which is disputed. Now these people will take off, and again the conflict between these two communities will escalate. For which Manipur government has responded by telling that no, no, we will not do any such thing. We will not bypass the approval method. Do not worry. This is the story behind. Understood? Now let's see. So what is the ethnic violence in Manipur? From May 2023 onwards it is going. What is the root cause? Again, between your Métis and Kukis. What has happened because of that? There is blockades on key road areas, or two main lifelines of this are National Highway 2 and National Highway 37, which are severely disrupted. And this has also caused a difficulty in inter-district movements. Understanding? So now the hill connectivity is very important. If you see what are the hill districts, these are your hill districts where majority the tribal communities are residing. Now they are telling, because of this disruption in our infrastructure, this has more of escalated humanitarian crisis. If we have to solve this, that is, for example, let's take your education, healthcare, amenities, basic necessities, lifeline products, and we can't only keep on relying airdroppings. So we need a dedicated corridor or infrastructure. So they wanted a road corridor connecting hill districts to the outside world. So what did they do? They addressed to the President of India for asking for urgent intervention. Now comes your Ministry of Donor or Development of Northeastern Region, which is the ministry which looks after your Northeastern infrastructure, connectivity and development. Now what it did was, it forwarded the Kuki in peace memorandum asking for a separate road connectivity, which will bypass your valley people. Now they have also told that take a serious consideration into this proposal. Again, this has led to what? Your Foothill Naga Coordination Committee has held that unauthorized road construction in the disputed foothill areas, and also this might further escalate the ethnic conflict issues. Understanding with the cookies that these people have. Now, for this, the Manipur government has responded by telling there will be no such illegal projects which will bypass the original approval process. And also, if any like that is found, then legal action will be taken. We will also not name any roads, or we will not do any, let's say, disputed or unauthorized place or road or namings will not take place. So they are trying to assure. Now, first and foremost, we'll ask this simple question: how important is infrastructure connectivity to your hill areas? First and foremost, whenever you are trying to build an infrastructure to your hill areas, this will have wider political and ethnic sensitivities, especially with regarding to your infrastructure. Again, this is a disputed issues with respect to territory, occupation, understanding, and also the ethnic conflicts. Now, the potential risks include the possibility of, see, when we use the word potential or possibility, this means this could lead where if the ethnic communities feel like their rights or land has been excluded or encroached upon, this might trigger a fresh set of ethnic conflicts. And if, let's say, this infrastructure project comes together, then this will be very easy to ensure humanitarian relief. And at the same point of time, this will facilitate security forces movement in this area, so we might win a security advantage. So there are both positives as well as negatives. Now, more than considering it as positives and negatives, we should look at it in a manner where, see, connectivity is important, but instead of seeing it as negatives, how can we look for alternatives? Understanding, if we see that, then connectivity to hill areas would be a very good thing. What is a possible mains question from this topic? Look at this. Discuss the role of infrastructure development in conflict resolution and economic revival in Northeast India with reference to Kuki Hill Road corridor proposal. Basically, you'll have to speak about the background that we discussed. Métis and your Kukizo conflict, what are their areas of conflict, understanding, and then you will discuss about the blockades, airdroppings, and also you will further give the wider implications as to what would happen if this is done and what would happen if this is not done, understanding. So with this, we've come to the end of the content. If you like our content, subscribe to our channel, hit the like button, share it along with your friends. Thank you.